Grant request for the Somerville County Historical Foundation. I believe the open public hearing was last the 16th. Just as a personal note, and I'll stop. Kind of because of our financial position, this is something I would like to do personally. But just personally on number one, this is something I would like to do, and I think it's something that's important to our community. Because of our financial position, because we're going kind of in the hole right now, I'd like to table the issue. And y'all may, I just think $130,000 right now would wipe out our reserve. We're going $10,000 to $15,000, or I'm sorry, $7,000 to $10,000 a month.
Before we do table this, let's think about something else. Right now, while this is being studied, is there an amount? I know you have a $30 grant that you applied for. Is that correct?
Yes, we have a $30,000 grant that we've been awarded by the state of Texas through the Texas Historical Trust Fund. It is a matching grant, so we have to come up with $30,000 to match that by July, basically. We originally would have had 6 months, and we can get an extension on that of a couple of months, but we had to go through the SAL grant process in order to meet all of the criteria. So they have awarded the grant to us. I have filled out the acceptance papers, and now we will meet the $30,000 that we have to meet the $30,000 by this summer and complete our project by this summer.
Right.
Because we are getting off to a late start by their request, they are not going to hold us to the July 1 finish date totally, but they will expect us to be through with our construction within a few months after that. We're getting about 3 months late start.
Right.
That will get the initial project going and secure the end of the building. That will not make it habitable.
Right.
And that's what we were trying to do with the rest of it. That we are using part of that $30,000 to secure a beam in the great room that is in the very large room in the middle that is sinking, and we're putting a cement or concrete pillar underneath the wooden beam to secure it so that it will not drop any further.
Right.
I gave you the printout on, and in fact, the last time I even had one other sheet of that. I just gave Mr. Mitchell, the sheet that I had. It's the table out of Word that has the figures on it. And that sheet has the figures of the $30,000 and then what we would be spending the rest of the money on for the $130,000 that we did request.
Right.
And that was in the original packet that I prepared. But this has been an ongoing project with, this has been an ongoing project with the state, and just this month, they are very excited about what we're doing. And just this month, they sent me a copy of the medallion, which is the letter or a magazine that is put out by the State Historic Trust. You can pass it down. If you open the first 2 pages,
Right.
Barnards Mill is featured in the state publication.
Right.
This is about the 3rd publication that we have been featured in recently. So we're getting a lot of good publicity, which will put us in line to start having larger numbers, and by this summer we would like to meet that cyclical tourist industry with some more open dates, possibly another open day during the week, if we can get it, so we can do that.
Right.
We have worked on this project, and we're also working on a few others, but as you know, most grants are a year in coming. When you apply for them, it's for the next year's benefit. You don't receive the money for a year in most of them.
Right.
Do you have any questions I could answer as far as what we're hoping to do and what we're planning to do?
I don't from your last presentation, you explained a lot of things that look pretty good.
I understand and appreciate your situation. I live here too. But we're just making the presentation, hoping that you will see fit to honor us in some way with some money.
Right.
Thank you.
I was downtown Sunday and I had two groups stop me and ask me where Barnards Mill was. Thought that was pretty neat.
It's beginning to happen. We're having more and more, and as we, Joan Taylor's working on a project to get us identified on the Texas Lakes Trail now. So we will be identified on one of the tourist trails in Texas you can go by car. And I'm working on a grant nationally with the National Park Service now that is in Save America's Treasures. And we're the only people in this area, in fact in District 17 of the Congressional District, we're the only people that qualified to apply for that grant.
Wow.
So we had all of the certification, the medallions necessary to apply for it. So we were very thrilled, but it's a year off, and we will not get it. If we get it, we won't get it for a year.
So, can I ask a question? So, if you're saying that you would like to table this until a later date, is that you're asking to table all future new things that the committee would be doing?
I don't know. Me personally, maybe, but I certainly can't speak.
Well, I understand you weren't speaking for them
Yeah.
either when you made that motion or made that comment.
You know, and I don't want y'all to lose this money. I mean, I think that would be a shame to lose free money. And so I wonder if you could do, you know, some kind of combination where pay $30,000 now, maybe table the other 130 or the other 100,000. I don't know. Do y'all have any thoughts? So this, you hate to throw away free money, and
you know, Barnards Mill is too much of a jewel to this community to not provide money for it. I think that it would be, we have to, I would think as a board, act here and do the $30,000 so they can match that grant. They got to secure that building or it's going to fall over.
Yeah.
Now, for the other $100,000, I don't know if the projects could be broken into smaller pieces, something that we could afford, or if there's going to be some sort of programs that we could come up with where we could match, so we're not shouldering all the $100,000, you know, given our economic situation. But the Barnards Mill is too much of a jewel not to do the 30.
And honestly, this would be, to me, this is one of those things that as soon as our revenue starts to get back to where we're not in a deficit, you know, on a monthly basis, this is something I want to reconsider immediately. And so maybe, you know, once our revenue starts to hit 30,000, say, okay, we'll do 5,000, you know, we can do 5,000 a month toward that other 100,000.
If we have a situation like that can come up, I mean, we're trying to be reasonable about this too. I have a budget at my house and I have to live in that too. I'd like to think that it would be acceptable to the corporation, the Economic Development Corporation, that we could come back and say, we are in a position that we've now just secured the outside walls with this 30,000, which, by the way, we do desperately need. The winter did its job on it, and now, after this last month, you can see daylight through it. It's completely fixing to fall down.
Yeah.
So if we can secure the walls and the foundation, and basically that's what will happen, that's all that will happen, because it is in such a dangerous state of repair. If the corporation could tell us that they would continue, we're not going to stop fundraising. We're not going to stop doing what we're doing either. But we would appreciate your commitment to future money as soon as possible. And maybe this is cyclical, and who knows, maybe the economy's going to be on the rise.